What's going on, guys? Austin back, and today I'm going to be showing you guys how to be the best teammate possible that you can be in Rainbow Six Siege. Now, I know a lot of people are going to say Austin, being a good teammate, it is what it is, right? At the end of the day, it'll help you, but it isn't the end of the world if you're not an amazing teammate. But in my eyes, I look at it as the best thing you can do, and the most important thing is your individual skill, right? Obviously that's going to come first. Your game sense, your aim, how you're able to just, play and get into gunfights, and what you're doing individually is the most important thing. But the second most important thing, I think, is being a good teammate, bringing things to the team and being able to work inside the team. Because remember, it's a 5v5 game. It isn't a 1v5, it isn't a 2v5, it's 3, 4. It is a 5v5, and you have to work with, whoever it may be. If it's randoms, if it's like one of your friends in randoms, two of your friends are randoms, three of your friends are random, four of your friends, or four in your friends and it does not matter. Being a good teammate is what's going to put you over the edge a lot of the time in, games like teamwork. That it's what's going to put you over the edge in a lot of close games, that is going to help you, win games, rank up, get more kills, all that, like I said. So in this video, I'm going to break it down for you guys. And without further ado, before I get into this video, make sure you guys go into the description. All my socials are linked down there if you want to follow any of those. My Twitch is down there, TikTok, X, everything. And then also make sure you hit the like, subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it. And without further ado, let's get into the video. All right, so the first thing I'm going to talk about in the road to becoming the best teammate that you can be is going to be very simple. And it's going to be help set up site and help push when you're on attack. And I know it's like simple. It's like, okay, Austin, set up the site, I got it. But like, really, like, if setting up the site is so like important, because it literally holds the structure of the round, right? If the site's set up good, the attackers are going to have a hard time, being attacking it. Especially if you're on a defensive sided site, like really defensive sided site. Obviously, pretty much all of them are, but like, again, like if you're setting up the site good, on a good defensive site, it's going to be hard to lose that. Even if you guys are losing engagements, right? It's going to be hard to, like, attack the site, because it's set up so well. So even like, obviously I'm mute in this, so like I'm gonna be making like the rotates, and I'm gonna be doing that stuff, and I'm most likely just gonna be on site. But this is really for like a lot of the people that, are on those other operators, where you're going to be kind of moving around site, you're going to be moving around the map, roaming, things like that, spawn peeking. Literally, bro, I know it may feel like the end of the world, but like, say I'm Vigil. All Vigil needs to do, really, like realistically, your Vigil, your Doc, whatever, literally throw up a reinforcement here, throw up a reinforcement here, and then, you know what, do whatever. At the end of the day, that's pretty much all you need to do, because obviously, like, those people are not going to be, be setting up the site. Like, they're not going to be expected to handedly set up the whole site, but like, even putting in little contributions like that, like, it's going to make a world of a difference, just moving with that and being able to set up the site well, because setting up the site again well is very important. And then moving into more, obviously I'm on defense, so I can't really showcase, but helping your team push. Um, Obviously you need versatility in your push, so like pushing from multiple angles, but coordinating with your team and seeing where you need to be. If you need to maybe help get a main wall, a big breach, if you need to be there so you can help, like, maybe contest the breach once it's opened, or make a play off of it, or if you need to push in and, get, map control on this side, if your team needs you to do that because they're doing something else, coordinate with them. Push with your team, follow into that game plan. I guess that's maybe not like kind of on the same boat, but like, it's both at the start of the round, just coordinating, knowing where you need to go, knowing what you need to do, helping set up the site, not being on your phone, TikTok phase, and things like that. So that's pretty much the first thing I just wanted to cover. All right, so the next thing I'm going to talk about is to play meaningful operators. And in the grand scope of what I'm going to say is, any operator is good to play if you play them with a purpose and play them how you need to play them in that round to win. And I know a lot of people will be like, "Oh yeah, but like, obviously some operators are more important that you're going to need to bring, right? Because like, a lot of the time, like, like bringing a Legion's always going to be good, but like bringing a Tachanka is not always going to be good." And that's right. That's right. I'm on Capcan, Tachanka. But if you take Tachanka on the defensive side and you're able to use him how how you need to use him for him to be, you know, really good, you know what I mean, and be useful. Like if they're trying to get in to a place, right? And a lot of people, and like I bring Tachanka, like I will run Tachanka on border on the second floor because a lot of people will try to push through what I forget what that is, but like the long hallway, you know what I mean? They'll try to push through that door and from the outside and get in and maybe plant there on the window or through the walk-in, right? And if you just run Tachanka and you just sit behind like the desk and just shoot it up there, they can't get in, right? You know what I mean? They can't get in. So basically, you're playing a Tachanka who maybe isn't a meaningful operator, but you know what I mean? And you want if you want to run Tachanka, but you're playing him in a way that like is very, very useful, it's okay. You know what I mean? You can run any operator in the game as long as you're doing what you need to do. And I think that's what a lot of people get misunderstood. Like obviously, again, other operators are always going to be better than them if they're just better, you know what I mean, with their gadget and their gun and stuff. But if you can play an operator how they need to be played in order, again, to win the round and be meaningful, it's okay. You can run anybody in the game. Obviously, I will say though, if your team, you know, needs something and you're running something else and it's like a desperate need, like I'm really referencing like wall. If you guys need like a wall denial or a hard breach, you need to run it sometimes, and sometimes you're gonna need to get off other operators, and it's okay. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's okay. Sometimes you have to do it. Everybody has to do it. Everybody has to do it, bro. Everybody. Freaking Spoit, stomping. You know what I mean? Bolo, Pengu, literally everybody you can think of has been on support. So like, just because you know you're whoever you are, you know what I mean, you can't run it, you know what I mean, because you have to run Borden or you know Ashe. Calm the ego, bro. But just play meaningful, because at the end of the day, like any operator is useful as long as you play them right and play them with a purpose instead of just going in and running in and trying to get kills. But I mean, if you need to do that, like a Maru, if you're like a Maru and you're running in and getting kills, like that's how you're going to be useful. But like, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, just play smart. You can play with any operator in the game. That's why this game is so cool. You can be any operator in the game and be useful. But again, like if you need to run someone meaningful for your team that's going to make or break the round, like a wall denial where we're on like clubhouse CCTV cache, right? You're gonna need wall denial and you're gonna need hard breach, because no matter what way you push, if you're pushing on the attack side, you're gonna need a hard breach for either the garage to get through the garage, right? You're gonna need it for the CC wall if you're trying to get through CC, right? And you're gonna need it for the con wall if you're trying to push through that side of the map, like master in the other second floor. So like it's really like you're gonna need that on the attack end to really like actually maximize your chances to win. And on the defensive end, like you're gonna need, you know, they need a hard breach wherever they're pushing, so that's why you have to go and anti-denial, right, in that point. So it's really just, sometimes obviously you gotta bite the bullet and do that, but a lot of times obviously you can play anybody that you want, just play them meaningfully. All right, so the next thing I want to talk about is to play meaningfully. And playing meaningfully is really, really important for just you and how you're gonna do, and also how good of a teammate you're being and how people are going to look at you, right? So pretty much when I mean playing meaningfully, I mean really doing things within the round that like actually help your team to win and aren't just helping you and like your stats and stuff like that, you know what I mean, and you to stay alive. And what I kind of mean by this is I'll explain it in like two things. Is like if you're roaming off site, right, or you're holding a certain something down, like let's say I'm just roaming like second floor. I'll give you two options for like roaming. So like if I'm roaming second floor over this site, this like kitchen site, right? And let's say like you're holding this down, right? That you're locking them up. It's like 4v3, and there's like a minute left in the game, right? And not in the game, in the round. And like it was just a 4v3, right? And you got to kill, and now it's a 4v2. Instead of like holding this upper area, like you need to be a good teammate and like help your team, right? And that's by thinking and being like, oh, okay, it's a 4v2, there's about a minute left. Pretty much all we need to do is I need to just head downstairs and we can win this round, right? Because I can just head downstairs and we can all hold angles, and then what? They're gonna take like what, 20 of those last 60 seconds and getting into the building and realizing that it's clear. And then what? They have 40 to half a minute, 40 seconds to 30 seconds to come in and win the round when it's a 4v2 and it's just two of them and you're all holding angles in the site. You studied. Like if you can think through that, you're studying and you're being a good teammate and you're helping your team be a insane, you know, powerhouse, right, in rounds and being able to win those later rounds, because instead of choking it and being like, hey, I'm just gonna be upstairs still for some reason holding down something that I don't need to hold down when I could be doing something better, so I'm basically, what I'm doing is meaningless. And then you die because they're like, oh my god, he's upstairs, we need to kill him. And then you die, and then what? It's a 3v2? You know what I mean? That's so winnable for the other team, even if they're sitting on angles, right? So instead of having double the numbers, they have you guys, it's a 3v2, and it's a very winnable for the other team. So thinking through that and like not being a meaningless body after being meaningful the whole round and then leaving it on your teammates, be smart, play smart, things like that. I think that also goes along with being meaningful. And then the other thing I'll say is like, another roaming thing. Let's say we're like defending the basement, right? And like you're roaming third floor, obviously, because you always want to have a roamer third floor, at least to start out, watching fireplace. And let's say they're doing literally a full wine push, backside, 5-man. They're getting the side wine wall, they're getting the front one, and it's a 5v4, right? They pick one of your guys off, and nobody's pushing here. Literally nobody. You sat here for like a minute and a half, 2 minutes, and nobody's pushing here, and things like that. And you're just like, nah, I'm just going to keep holding this. Meanwhile, there's literally 5 people pushing your 3 teammates that are in sight, and they have both the walls open. What do you think is the best course of action, right? A lot of people will just be like, oh, I'm gonna catch them. I'm gonna catch them rotating. I'm gonna catch them rotating to the other side. No. That's not how you want to think, bro. That's not how you want to think. Maybe that's smart in some circumstances, but if it's like that situation, you know, I mean, you need to be able to be smart and be like, hey, me sitting up here this whole time is pretty meaningless. I'm doing nothing for my team. I'm just letting my teammates in sight die and be put in like an insane spot, and I'm just sitting here waiting for one person to roam over, which they might not. They might just plow through wine and then be able to, you know, just all push through there because they get the kills and nobody has to rotate over. So what do you need to do? Oh, I need to stop roaming, and I either need to flank through kitchen so I can go down the stairs, or I need to head back down to site, and I need to either watch this connector, I need to get through this rotate, which this will be there, and watch this rotate, watch that, or you go blue and you help your teammates blue. Being able to think like that, and like that, pretty much when I mean meaningless, I mean playing for yourself a lot of the time. Like that's what's meaningless, holding things that don't need to be held, and putting your attention with your teammates when they need help and to hold something better, you know what I mean? Be smart. If you can play like that, your teammates are going to be like, wow, this guy's pretty good, you know what I mean? He held off fireplace, but then he was like, nobody was fireplace, didn't do anything there, but oh, he came back to site, got us 2 kills, we brought the round back to a 3, you know, it's to a 3v4 or a 4v3, and then now we have all 4 in sight and we just close out the round easy. You know what I mean? So I think it's a big thing. Just play meaningful. You know what I mean? Don't play stupid. Help your teammates. Be a good teammate. All right, so the next thing I want to talk about, I'm going to keep it very, very short and sweet, is going to be to just calm well. You know what I mean? And what I mean by that in calm well is it's not learn every call out on every single map. Know that. That's not what I'm saying. Just be able to know the basic comms and things like that, because like if you can calm well and like if you can calm well, your teammates are going to get a lot of kills. Like, I'm just going to say, and in turn, that's going to help you win rounds, right? Because if you're able to calm well and, like, you care about communicating to your teammates, people are going to love you. Like, literally, bro. I remember I saw something, and it was, like, it was something on G2. It was one of the Pro League teams, and someone was talking on G2. It might have been Doki Alamau. And they were talking about Uno, who's one of their players, and one of them said, like, I thought it was something like he's more important, or sometimes he's more important when he's dead than alive because of just the comms he gives. And that's insane. You know what I mean? You know how like insane of that is? You know what I mean? He literally can't do anything but watch cams and call things out and call things where things are. instead of in turn when he's alive he can literally, you know, do whatever he needs to do, you know, actually play the video game, right, and get kills and things like that. So to be able to even say remotely anything like that is insane. Comms are, and being able to communicate well is so huge and critical. And again, you don't need to know every comm in the game, but like knowing the baseline. A lot of them are literally at the bottom of the screen, the middle bottom of the screen. You can see above the compass, you can have that on. This is wine, it literally says wine cellar. Just call out wine cellar to know what it is, instead of like, you know what I mean? And the big thing is like, again, like, instead of being like, oh my god, this dude's in a room with me, and then like you die here, right, and your teammate's by you and he's like, oh, where is he, you know what I mean? And instead of having to ask the where he's like looking around and he doesn't really know, and he like swings this and the dude like swings out and kills him, you can be like, oh my god, he's in wine with me, and then they'll be like, oh, he's in wine, and then you can like hold an angle and get a kill, literally. And in turn, you know what I mean? You get the refrag, you get more kills, even when you're on cams. Make sure you're calling on cams when you're dead. Things like that. Literally, being common good is going to make people love you. It's going to make you win more rounds. It's just something that, like, it's like, why wouldn't you? You know what I mean? If you're spending the time playing Rainbow Six Siege, just try. You know what I mean? Just put in your effort to play, because at the end of the day, you're spending your time and your free time playing Rainbow Six Siege. So just give it your all. Like, why would you not? And the last thing I want to talk about is going to be to play good and be locked in. And obviously, you're like, Austin, obviously, bro, if I want to be a good teammate and bound people to like me, I have to play good. You know what I mean? And obviously that's right. You know what I mean? If you're carrying every game, getting a bunch of kills, your teammates are going to look at you and be like, "Oh, you're getting good kills, right?" But in vice versa, if you're just getting those kills by like being like baiting and things like that, it's like, what are you doing, bro? Playing good in this game doesn't just isn't just about how many kills you drop. It's about the combined effort of what you do. You know what I mean? Positions you're playing, intelling, how much your information you're feeding to your team, calming, the operators you run, the importance of those. It's going to be what you're actually doing in the round. Are you actually pushing? Are you just baiting, waiting to get kills? Are you, you know, planting the diffuser? Are you, you know, doing everything, right? Being a good teammate. Playing good isn't just about kills. And I think when you realize that, you'll win a lot more games, you know what I mean? And you'll be locked in, right? Kills obviously are a big part of this game, and but I'm saying they're not everything. You know, they're not the end all be all. You need to do a lot of other things to win the rounds, right? To set up those kills. And a lot of times, you know, you win a round on a defuse and a plant, you know, that you put down, and you're like, okay, I'm gonna go get this plant down, and then you do everything in your power to go get that plant down. But at the end of the game, you're 2 kills negative, and your teammate's like, bro, you did nothing, bro. Like, I literally carried you, but you know, a lot of the time he wasn't alive. You know, he gets first picked. He runs in, he gets maybe a kill, it trades himself out. It's a 4v4. It is what it is. You know what I mean? And obviously that's going to help the team, but you getting in the building, strategically putting down the defenses, getting a kill, planting the diffuser, defending it well, playing good in post plant is going to be way more valuable than what he did that whole round. You know what I mean? And he may have more kills than you. And it's, again, like, it's literally playing good doesn't equal kills. To be locked in, you need to, you know, and to be locked in, really, like that, is going to make you a good teammate, because you're not going to have that ego. You're going to be playing to win a lot of the time, or basically all the time you'll be playing to win. So that's going to mean, you know, you're going to try a lot harder than just the guy who's going on Ash or a frag op and running in, or a guy who's going on Doc, going around spawn peeking, or a guy on Vigil who's just running around the map doing whatever he wants, not helping the team as much. You know what I mean? Being a good teammate means to play good, and it's to mean to do everything in Siege that makes you and helps your team win more than just getting kills. All right, so that's gonna be all for today's video. Hope you guys did enjoy this one. I know this video is kind of like a common sense thing, but I think it's really nice if you, like, sometimes you just hear it, you know what I mean? And especially when it's something this big, just hearing something like this, you know what I mean, can help you like think through things when, like, you know, maybe you're doing something a little bit wrong, or you're not doing something that you maybe should be doing, and just hearing is like, oh, that's a good idea, you know what I mean? And just refreshing and kind of getting going. And especially, again, like, this being such an important thing, right? Obviously, like I said, number one, the most important thing is your individual skill, what you're doing and how you're playing, and can you win your own gunfights, and can you think through things, and do you have game sense and things like that, right? That's going to be always the most important thing. But the second thing is, I think, is just teammates, you know, being a good teammate, being able teamwork wise, because it's a 5v5 game. Obviously, I said this in the intro, but I think, you know, just being a good teammate and things like that. And I think, especially if you just kind of follow what I did in the video and you just watch this and you do everything, like, you're a good teammate. You know what I mean? Be a good teammate, continue to. It's going to help you win a lot more and get you to where you want to be. So, again, my socials are linked in the description. My Twitch is down there if you want to watch it or go and show me any love on there. I would greatly appreciate it. And make sure you hit the like, subscribe button if you did enjoy this video. I'd greatly, 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 greatly appreciate it. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.